Hello! Okay, we're just gonna jump right in. I've been meaning to clean this forever. Whenever I clean this room in the past, I just leave it untouched for the most part. I like the mantle being clean, the floor being clean, I like vacuuming, but this just gets a little tidy every once in a while. But today I am getting it clean. I have pictures that I don't want on there anymore. I want to get new pictures. I want to hang some frames up. I want to just take every single thing that doesn't need to be there or belong there off. Oh, it looked great in the end. It looks so blank and empty though. I'm like, so different. What do we do? Anyways, so it looks great. It's amazing. I can actually put stuff up there now that goes up there. Oh my gosh, this book, this I Spy book, Pep got a hold of it one day and she ripped a page out, like the whole entire page out. Like, I don't know, it's like 2 pages, I guess. Just ripped it out. I don't know how, but all of a sudden I heard ripping noises and looked. Then she ripped a few pieces off of one page after I had put the book away, and then she had got it again. Oh, this is Bria. She's really little in that picture. She's probably like, oh, let me see. When was that? It had to be around 14 weeks. There's Pep. Pep was probably like a year old in that picture. I mean, she was a year old, but I don't know. I think it was right around her birthday. But the rest of these pictures are just old, or they don't go in this spot. They just got laid there one day, and so I'm cleaning them up. My air purifier, it's not an air purifier. It's a diffuser. It got so dirty. I don't even know how it got something splatted on it. But something was crusty on there, but all clean now. This was so dusty. I tried to take a before picture, we couldn't even see it, so I just deleted it. I was like, it doesn't matter. But it was very dusty. I don't know if I show you my rag, but it needed a good wipe down, and it was beautiful. It wasn't as dusty as the mantle was last time, but that's because I didn't move the pictures to dust before when I've dusted. Look, I'm hanging one up. Did I get it straight? It's pretty straight. Straight enough. Bria, she joining us. She likes being right next to me when I'm doing stuff. So cooking, she sits in the bumpo watching me or something sometimes. Cleaning up the floor, she likes to lay right next to me. She just wants to be there and watch me, and then she's happy. She's a mama's baby. Pep. She loves laying next to her all the time. I'm constantly checking to make sure she's not like leaning on her and squishing her, but she does really good these days with practice. She's being a little more careful, a little more light with the touch. Oh, I should have taken it before of this. I didn't. I started doing it and I was like, well, too late now. It was really filthy. Pep had got some food on her hands and then touched that all up and down. So I dusted it. It was very dusty. I usually leave that for my husband to dust. He likes to clean the TV and stuff, but he hadn't dusted in a little while, so it was pretty dusty. And then the handprints of food, I have no idea what it was. It was sort of a green color. I can't even remember. It's been a couple weeks. And I needed a wipe, so I got it. Also, I was going to do this off camera and just show you the before and after, but oh, it was so satisfying with the first few swipes. I was like, I have to show them. It's beautiful. It just makes my heart sing. Seeing night and day difference. It wasn't perfect, but it recommends that you vacuum this once every couple weeks, I believe. Maybe even once a week, but I only do it every like once a month. it just helps keep the filter, the more heavy duty filter behind that, the HEPA filter or whatever. I think it just helps keep that and make it last longer. So I should really do it because the HEPA filter is a little more expensive. I should do it all the time, but once a month is about all I get to, and that's gonna have to be good enough. This had also gotten really dirty. Pep loves playing with it. Since it's right next to Bria's swing, she's constantly touching it, little fingerprints sticky all over it. So now it's clean. Here's the base of the swing. I have dusted this many a time, but it's white. You can see everything. So it was like a dust bunny on there. I have no idea where that came from. I dust it way too often for that to be on there. So I just vacuumed a little bit of stuff off and wiping it down. My sister actually is lending me this swing, and I like it a lot. It's very nice. Bria loves sitting up, and it kind of sits up a little bit more. And so she's not constantly trying to sit up as much. Not constantly. She still tries. She's starting to enjoy the bumpo even more. I don't put her in it for super long periods at a time. Just maybe up to 15 minutes at a time. Because she's still got a little wobbly bobbly head. It's not quite as firm as it could be. It's not quite as firm as you want it to be for a little while in the bumpo. So I don't put her in for very long. But she does enjoy that way more. So this chair, I use it because by the time I'm done cooking, Bria's like, feed me now or hold me. So I put it next to my chair so I can put my plate on it and my water on it all throughout the day. So that's why that's always there. You see, I take an after picture, it's gone. Then later, it's there again in the background. See, there's Bria. This is fast speed, so she's looking around and talking to me, and it's so cute. Our little Halloween Snoopy. We have a couple of those. Well, one stuffed and one walnut. I was trying to show you this outlet. It is so dusty. This thing, it's dusty. I don't know. Anyways, then while I was down there, I was like, the floorboard too. And the base of this lamp. But the top of this is white. You can see the dust and little gooey fingerprints again. Okay, guys, I just got to admit, the whole living room, it's been a while since I've dusted a lot. So this was like a deeper clean for me. I usually get the basics, vacuuming and cleaning everything, and even vacuuming like the couches and stuff, that's done. But the dusting, got it done, finally. Looks beautiful. Pep looks so big and so old. She's only my 2-year-old. Everybody always asks me, is she 3 or is she 4? I'm like, she's 2. Just 2. This was when she had just turned 2, they would ask me. I'm like, I guess she's big. I don't know. I think because her hair maybe is so long and dark, it just makes her look older. I have no idea. Oh, this desk was a disaster. She had eaten, this is Pep's little play color/eat area. She didn't like sitting by herself. We didn't also have a table for a while, so I wanted somewhere where she could sit and eat rather than coming to the couch all the time. So I got this little desk for her 2nd birthday. She loves it. She eats at it. She plays at it. We had some chocolate cake. My husband's birthday is actually coming up, and so I told him, why don't you pick out some cake? And I'll make it for you on your birthday. So he picked some out. He loves, some Dutch chocolate. I don't know, something like that. And I was like, what about frosting? You want me to make you some frosting? And he was like, no, I think frosting's an American thing. If you have at Big W's, Mexican. He only lived in Mexico for a few years of his life before moving here when he was a little tiny, but um he was like, I think that's like a American thing to do. We don't do that. I don't do that. I'm like, okay, we've been married for how many years? Three? Three? I don't know. 3.5. So he was like, nah, that's okay. So, no frosting, just cake. You know what? Cake falls apart a lot more easily when it doesn't have frosting on it. It was a very moist cake, but there's no frosting to hold it together. So Pepe ate a piece and crumbles everywhere. Also, there was like some clear something stuck to there. I don't know what it was, but I had to really get some elbow grease into it. Put some elbow grease into scrubbing. Also on the seat, she sits down and I hadn't gotten to it yet, but she's like, Mom, there's something stuck. I don't know what that is too. Oh, actually, no, I do. No, my husband likes this chocolate cereal. It's like, I don't know. But when the milk and chocolate mix and it splats anywhere on her desk or any hard surface, it is like a rock and glued on there. Oh, I had to scrape it off of her seat, so. She'd eaten some a couple mornings ago, and I guess I missed that. Here's the fireplace, so beautiful. Pep one day just was like, ooh, my handprint. Ooh, fun. So, had a ton of handprints on it. She did that for like 3 days straight, and I was like, oh, let's wait until she's interested in it to clean it. So, that was last week, so she hadn't touched it in a few days, so I was like, time to clean it. Cleaning everything else anyways. It still looks beautiful today. She hasn't touched it yet. So, it looks so reflective. I had a hard time getting an aftershock because the lights were all reflecting from it. Finally got it, and it was good enough. Whew. I'm just talking. Full speed. Okay, so I pause right here because you see there's like some little white marks. It's not on the glass. It's inside. I'm pretty sure they put this fireplace in right before we moved in. But for some reason, there's like some scratches on the inside metal, which I have not noticed before until I was videoing. Also, if you ever think, wow, you don't put very much in your dishwasher, trust me, I do put quite a bit usually, but I didn't empty it for a day or two, so we had used dishes out of it for a couple days, and then I finally put it away because I was going to refill it again. So that's why when I emptied it, there wasn't very much. So this is our, like, footstool. I got it when we lived at our last apartment. I wanted a footstool. And it is also a storage container. My husband has, like, 1,000,000,001 blankets. I have a couple. Well, when we got married, so we just had them all piled in like the top of a closet. So when we lived in our second apartment, I was like, I'm getting something to put these in because we need a designated area. So got that, put them in there. It's been great. It holds a ton of blankets. It's supposed to be a footstool, but my husband sat on it and it's not a sittable footstool. It is a footstool and a footstool alone. It was very cheap, cheaply made, cheaply priced. That's why I got it. I didn't want anything expensive or heavy to move. So, he sat on it, and, the top's basically cardboard, so it kind of broke. So, now it just sits in that corner behind her desk. So nobody else sits on it. I'm making Chicken Alfredo. Yummy, yummy, yum. Okay, so here I am filling up my tea kettle. I did this slow motion. I'm just copying the noises I made when I was actually doing it. I don't know why I feel the need to do that. This is fast motion. But I put the water in the tea kettle. It boils so much faster, I feel like, when you need more water. And then I take my little pan, and I like to get it hot before, so I put a little bit of water in it, because if you put boiling water into a hot pan, it does this like, you know, if you've done it, you probably know what I mean. So I put a little bit of water, I showed you how much when I tipped the pan, in the bottom of the pan, and I turn it on and get it boiling too. And the amount of water in the tea kettle and the amount of water in the pot on a very high heat, this was like super high, it takes about the same amount of time to boil. So they boiled around the same time. I poured the boiling water into the pot, and then I was watching someone cooking on YouTube once, and they were like, did you know when they say to salt your water for noodles that you're supposed to put like a ton of salt, like like the Great Salt Lake or whatever. I don't know, I said something funny. So I was like, okay. So I tried it this time, and I liked it. My noodles actually tasted good. They, like, plain. They had a little bit of salt flavor, just a little bit. But I was like, oh, these are good. This is delicious. I didn't put, like, the Great Salt Lake amount, but I put quite a bit. More than I ever have. Okay, run around. Woo, spin, spin. So I forgot to put a timer on the noodles. So I just kept tasting and tasting and tasting. I think I only tasted 3 times. But the first time it was not even close to done. But I kind of wanted to get a feel, and I knew it wouldn't be done. A feel of how long it was going to take. And because I was like, how long has this even been in here? And I tasted it, and I was like, oh, it's probably about halfway done. So I gave it another like 5 minutes. I tasted it after that. And then I thought, maybe like a minute more, but it doesn't need the stove on. It was pretty much done. So I just turned the stove off. I got the colander or whatever, strainer, and the sauce ready, and then I strained it. I kept eating the noodles. It was delicious. Actually, the first one I tried, I was like, it needs like pepper. After I added the pepper though, it was so good. I just wanted to down the whole pot, but I had to wait for the chicken to be done. I mean, I probably could have eaten it without chicken, but I needed a little more protein for the day. So I waited, but Pep, I thought if I give her chicken, she might just eat the chicken and no noodles. Yummy? To my surprise, when I gave Pep the noodles, she loved them. As you saw when I showed you the bowl, I didn't give her very much. I didn't expect her to eat very much. She goes through phases where she eats like barely anything for a couple days, and then she wants to eat more. Well, today I guess was the day where she was like, I'm gonna start eating more. So I gave her another bowl full of noodles, and then I added chicken to this one. She sat there and picked out the chicken, set it on her desk, and only ate the noodles. And I was like, but you don't want the chicken? She loves chicken. Here's mine. And some Caesar salad. I actually added, I thought, this is so plain and one unicolored, however you say that, one color. So I added a little bit of chipotle Southwest seasoning. Oh my gosh, it was delicious. So good. I never would have thought of that, except I wanted a better picture, and I'm glad I did it. Okay, so I was talking about food, but I tidied up the shoe rack, and I took out the recycling. I didn't show that, but I showed the after. Here I had all of that donate. So I took that out to the car, plus a booster seat that was sitting over there. I took that to the car, just put it in the back, because Pep needs to be like 8 pounds heavier for a booster seat, but we got that one for free. I cleaned it all up and then I put it back in the car. Here's the after. It looks so much better. It doesn't look like we live in a pigsty, except this. Okay, so here are all the dishes. They're not just thrown in here. Most of them are actually soaking. They had stuff on them. But I got most of the dishes nice and clean just by soaking. I just filled up one of these bowls, threw a bunch of dishes in, etc., etc. I never liked the dishwasher growing up because the utensils wouldn't be clean, things would just be stuck, hard water, all this gross stuff. But I just basically soak my dishes, rinse them right after you're done, and then throw them in the dishwasher later, or I soak them if I need to, or if I don't have time, like Bria's crying or something, or Pep needs me, I'll do this type thing. Just put them in here with some water and let them sit for till I can get to them. Here's the pan we made the cake in. The chocolate cake that was wonderfully all over Pep's desk and the floor. I'm so glad I vacuumed that up and cleaned that because I had just vacuumed the living room. Do you guys find that if you don't sweep and vacuum, whatever's on the hard floor, it'll like get on your foot and you get to the carpet and it gets on the carpet? That's always the case with me. So I'm like, I vacuum, I have to sweep, or I sweep, and then I'm like, I can vacuum and nothing will get tracked in here. We don't have a ton of stuff on the floor usually, except right next to her desk. It gets so dirty because she's a kid, so she drops food. These Red Bulls. Okay, so my husband had them when we got married. I want to get new mixing bowls, but these are perfectly fine mixing bowls, so I haven't got any new mixing bowls because I'm like, we don't need more than 2 mixing bowls, really. I just want different mixing bowls. I don't want plastic. I want like stainless steel mixing bowls or glass. I like the stainless steel ones with the what's it called? Silicone bottom. So when you set it on the counter, it doesn't clatter. Here's some of that chocolate cereal my husband likes. I put it in the sink to soak, Pep's bowl, and it had like swollen, and then the cereal had swollen and then turned into like a paste in the water. So it was really gross when I dumped it out. Ugh. Anyways, this little thing kept getting filled up. What is it called? The thing in the sink that grinds up food. Who knows? I can't think of it right now. That is the other side of the sink. This one just has a cover. So I've actually been using this side and just throwing it away rather than letting it go down the... I keep wanting to go to food processor, but that's not what it is. Oh, well, there's my brain for you. Lack of sleep, maybe? Whatever it is, I use this side more these days. Oh my gosh. See, here I am yawning, proving my lack of sleep theory. I use this side more and then just dump it in the trash because my husband used it the other day and it sounded like something was in there. So he reached down in there and tried to grab and feel, and he couldn't feel anything. But when you turn it on, it is so loud and it sounds like metal is grinding metal. I don't know what's wrong. So he couldn't find anything. He probably had his hand in there for 5 minutes because it really sounds like something's in there. So I just figured I'd use the other side for now. I don't know, I guess I could see if I feel something, but I always have this fear of sticking my hand in there. I think it's gonna like get chopped off or my fingers are gonna get ground off. Yep, it's probably unrealistic since Pep can't even reach the switch right now. I'm not gonna turn the switch on while my hand's in there. But I just don't like sticking my hand in there. And since it happened when he did it, he stuck his hand right in there, and I was like, phew, at least that wouldn't happen when I was using it. Okay, here I'm loading the dishwasher. I couldn't get a really great angle of me doing it. I guess I could have went from the floor. But until I videoed, I didn't really realize that the top drawer doesn't even come out that far. You have to go under the counter and stick stuff in. Like, reach under. It comes out, but it, like, I don't know, 6 inches at least is still under the counter when you pull it out all the way. And it's kind of weird. I like this dishwasher, but I didn't notice until then. I guess I just figured I'd never really pull it out all the way, but it doesn't come out any further than that, so. Ugh, the dreaded egg pan again. You know, we don't eat eggs that often, but every time I video, for some reason, we have egg pans. I actually ended up leaving that one to soak. I scrubbed it a couple times, and then I was just like, I'm gonna leave it to soak. I asked Tony, my husband, if he would, wash it. He said yes. That was last night from when I'm recording this voiceover, and it's still in the sink, but that's okay. I'll probably end up washing it. It's a thought to count that he said yes, that he would do it. I'll wash it. It'll be clean. I got the top layer off of egg, and so I'll get the rest off. It'll just require extra elbow grease. That pan was really easy. I had made like I don't know, probably a quesadilla in it. Mushrooms. I made mushrooms in it. I know what I made in it. I made the rest of my mushrooms in that pan, so I'm out of mushrooms currently. That's why you didn't see mushrooms in my Alfredo. I'm just kidding. I don't think I would have even thought to put them in there. Maybe. I do put them in everything. Probably think I'm weird with mushrooms, but they're good for you, okay? Leave me alone. I was scrubbing this pan. We had cooked chicken in it, and it's usually very good, and it doesn't stick. It's a non-stick pan. But I had it out because I was going to cook the cake in 2 separate pans and then put them on top of each other. But it all fit into the one pan so easy that I was like, oh. So we had a greased pan. I had greased it for extra protection against cake sticking. So I was like, I don't want to wash it. It's perfectly clean other than the old oil I put on it to keep from sticking. So that was last night we made. Okay, well, 2 nights ago from when I'm recording this. Anyways, overnight, and then this night I was like, okay, I'll just cook the chicken in it. So I cooked chicken in it. Slow-mo water. I love watching water fall, and especially if it's like in a pitcher. From here it's not quite as satisfying because it's white, airy, bubbly, but excuse me. I like watching, like, you have a pitcher of water and it looks so refreshing when you pour it out. Waterfalls, they're a little more bubbly, but sometimes you can see the clear. It's so beautiful. So beautiful. Waterfalling is beautiful. More chocolate cake on the counter. Such a disaster. Chocolate cake everywhere. That was actually the batter. I gave Pep a scoop, and on the way to her mouth and my mouth, I dripped some on the counter. I forgot to wipe it up, I guess. This stove was so dirty. Oh, so dirty. Cake crumbs. Cake, cake, cake. Cake everywhere. Just 1 second, Bria. So I sprayed it twice. Got the easy stuff to get off, and now I'm scrubbing the grease off. It's just dirty. Dirty stove. I've been wanting to clean it for a couple days, but this day I got to it, and I did it, and it's clean. Okay. Here's the before. So many dirty dishes. Beautiful, beautiful after. Usually I'll dry the dishes, but I'd been on my feet all day and I was tired, so I was like, I'll just leave them to air dry.